Hello, Big Tube. Hello, friends. Welcome to Lizziefaye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and this is going to be my wrap-up for March Mystery Madness 2024. So because our theme was dressed to the nines, even though I'm not right now dressed to the nines, we'll do one more hat sighting. So there we go. You can't tell that I'm not dressed to the nines, right? Anyway, now I can put that hat away back up in my hat box in the closet. Let me get my glasses up here where I need them. This is going to have to be quick because today, right now as I'm filming this, I just heard the local church bell chime 1 p.m. It is Wednesday, April 3rd, and I should have already gotten on the road. I should say we, because my daughter Emily's going with me. We should have already gotten on the road for our trip to West Texas to our family reunion. I'm supposed to go through Northeast Oklahoma, pick up my sister, and in order for me to get there in a timely manner so that we can then head on out to West Texas, I need to get there, she said, by 10 a.m. Friday. So it is 1 p.m. Wednesday. I am driving straight through, but I'm going to have to stop and take naps. I'm going to have to, we're going to have to make restroom food stops and all that. So I need to pad in some extra time, which means I really need to leave today. Even though it is if you Google it, it says it's like 20 hours. For me, it's 24. The shortest I've ever gone is like 22 and a half. And that's when I was like 25 and could stay awake longer. Pretty much 24 hours, double that, and that's about what it takes me. And that's if I don't stop and do book shopping. I will do some book shopping on the trip, but it probably won't be until after I get there and then whatever I can find on the way back. I have talked to a couple of you about, seeing you on the road, and I hope we can still work that out. I will be contacting you, but first I just got to get on the road. And that means getting all these things done that need to get done. I said this is going to be a fast video. That's not possible for me. I have cleaned out my car this morning. Although it's not clean yet, I need to go and vacuum it out. I'll probably just, rather than like drag out the shop vac here, I'm just going to go put some quarters in the machine down at the local gas station, vacuum out the car. And while we're out, though, I need to return all these library books. So I really want to get this wrap-up video filmed. Then I've got one more post office run to make. I haven't even put labels on my 2 most recent packages because as soon as I do that, then I need to change my eBay store to 5-day handling. That way my husband can ship whatever we sell on his weekend. And, it's a lot. And I'm just kind of OCD about leaving my house for a period of days without making sure that certain things are done. I mean, I'm doing all the laundry, not just what we're taking with us, washing all the bedding and all that kind of stuff. So it's just what I do. My daughter texted me yesterday and said, "Have you left yet? Drive safe." And I said, do you really think I've left yet? She's like, "Well, that was your goal, wasn't it?" I'm like, "Yeah, but do you know me?" And so anyway, let me stop chattering about the trip, although I will also add that I have filmed and scheduled 2 videos to upload while I'm gone. One of the videos is about a decade's worth of Caldecott Medal winners that Emily and I read a few weeks ago. And then the other one is a readathon announcement for middle grade May. Yes, before we know it, it will be May, even though it is just now the beginning of April. And those are due to upload, I believe, on the 12th. And then my Caldecott video will come out a few days after that. That way I've got at least 1 video per week until I'm back. And then hopefully there'll be some kind of a travel vlog where I will be able to share with you some fun bookstores and book shopping adventures and things like that that I will have done by the time I get back. So let's get started with my wrap-up, though. Of course, March Mystery Madness means that I spend most of my reading time during March reading mysteries. I read 15 mysteries and then one other book that had kind of a mysterious element, and it had 9 in the title, so I'm counting that for March Mystery Madness as well. And then I also read 2 children's books, 2 of the Caldecott winners that we didn't get read in late February, we read in early March. Then 1 historical fiction book that I read for book club, and 1 Christian nonfiction book that I took 2 months to read because it was over 600 pages. I read an average of 10 pages a day, and it took me 2 months to read, and I'm really glad that I read it. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but it took a lot of my print reading time. So as a result, I did not get several of the print books read that I had planned to read for March Mystery Madness. I am taking, I think, 4 books with me on the trip that I would like to have read while, you know, March Mystery Madness was happening. Now, I don't think I'll get all 4 of those read on the trip, but I'm just going to take them because, you know, who knows what kind of reading time I'll have, and who knows what I will feel like reading. Although I'm not really a mood reader, I'm going to take all 4 of them and allow myself a little bit of moodiness, I suppose, because I'll be on vacation. And then I had 1 book that was a romance, but it was specifically romantic suspense or intrigue, so that kind of counts as a mystery as well. Although it didn't meet any of the prompts for March Mystery Madness. I discovered in February, when I read an ebook from this particular series, that I kind of like having an ongoing ebook on my phone that I could pick up and read just a little along as I have time, when I don't have another book with me, or just when it's easy to grab my phone and read a few pages. So I have already checked out another one for the trip. Not that I plan on being anywhere where I'll be able to read on my phone, but again, it's just an option. So, you know, I hope to get some audiobooks read, although yesterday while I was, you know, just doing projects and various things, I listened to both of my Jen McKinley books for April. They're such quick reads, and, you know, at even 1 point, not even 2.0 speed, I think I listened to them at 1.5 or 1.75 speed. They're still really fast, and I was able to listen to both of those already for April. So I'm going to kind of miss that read along when it's over, because those have been really fun books. And we only have a couple months left. So, okay, let me get going here. Let me just show you the Caldecott books first, because I'm going to be, you know, uploading a whole video about these, and you will learn more about these later. But this is one that I did read last year, although I hadn't read it with Emily, and we were reading the Caldecott winners of the 1980s. So this is one of those, Jumanji. It is by Chris Van Allsburg. And then we also read Fables by Arnold Lobel. It took us a few days to read this one because it is made up of 20 different fable stories, and you know, it's quite a bit of text on the page. So we read 2 a day for a period of 10 days and enjoyed that a lot. Okay, so then I also had 1 middle grade book, but it counts for March Mystery Madness. It also counts for a read-along, which I'm doing with Mitzi and the Let's Read Nancy Drew gang on Voxer. We read The Secret of Redgate Farm by Carolyn Keene. This is book 6, I believe. Yeah, 6 in the Nancy Drew series, and I really enjoyed it. A couple of people in the group said that they didn't like this one as much as the others, that it was their least favorite so far. I thought it was fine. It was kind of right on par with the rest of them as far as, you know, my enjoyment value, but there was some dangerous situations, but really there's been dangerous situations in all of the books, and you know, Nancy always perseveres, but still, you know, they take some risks. So yeah, she did some risky things, but it all, of course, came out fine in the end, and I did enjoy the book. Before we get into all the mysteries, let me just continue to show you all of the things that were not mysteries. This I listened to for book club. I did not really enjoy it. It took me really until the first day of April to absolutely finish it. I'm still counting it for March because there was plenty of time that I could have listened to it during the month. I just didn't want to. I don't know. I felt like I needed to like it, but I just didn't enjoy it. Several people at book club, because we already discussed this book, and I, at the point of book club, I had only gotten through 50% of it, and I told them, you know, I said, I will finish it, but I'm not enjoying it. And even the people who enjoyed it, in the end, said that it was very slow in the beginning, and that they also had a hard time getting into it, but that it picked up, and they, you know, in the end, did enjoy it. I still never really got that. I guess I did enjoy the second half a little bit more. It's just a tough book, and I did definitely feel sympathy for some of the characters, and you know, and a strong dislike for the one that was supposed to be unlikable. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because I was really wanting to just immerse myself with all the mysteries that I just wasn't engaged in it, and I didn't really enjoy it. Anyway, this is The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride, and it's historical fiction set, I think, in the 1930s, and it is about a community that is made up of Jewish people and African Americans, and then how they, you know, some of the characters sort of work together to offset all the prejudice and racism and things like that. I think I neglected to mention my total book count. I usually tell you the total that I read, and then how many were print and how many were audio. Didn't even add up how many were print and how many were audio, but I'll tell you that in a second. I did read a total of 22 titles. Now, one of those titles was actually 2 short stories, and I'll put it right here. The reason I read both of these short stories is because that's how they're listed on Goodreads. These 2 stories were probably at one point published as an ebook, and these are part of the Jack Reacher series. The first one is more of a prequel to the Reacher series. It takes place when Reacher is still a military cop, and then the second one is listed as 12.5 in the series, and that's why I picked it up, because I was between book 12 and book 13 in the series. In fact, I have book 13, and I did start it. It's called Gone Tomorrow, but I was busy doing my income taxes and everything, and I really just put it in a couple of times when I didn't want to listen to Heaven and Earth Grocery Store, but I couldn't give it my full attention because I was working on income taxes. So I got it like halfway done, and I thought, I don't really know what's happening, and I'm not enjoying it like I have most Jack Reacher stories. So I thought, I'm missing something. So I am just going to return this to the library for now, and I'm going to then come back from my trip and start it over and give it more of my full attention, because it's not like me to not really be fully engaged and enjoying a Reacher story. But back to this short story. So I read at the very end of 12.5, which is Guy Walks Into a Bar, that this is what happens a few seconds before this book starts. And I read that out of this short story collection called No Middle Name, but the 2 stories I read are the only ones out of this collection that I read, and then I returned it to the library. But then by the time I got around to starting this, I had totally forgotten that what happened in that short story was what happened right before this one starts. And I need to go back and start this again with that in mind. And I think that that will kind of help me get into it a little bit more. I may have to go back and read that story again at whatever point I'm ready to pick this up. But anyway, I did not read the whole No Middle Name because it is a big collection of short stories. So I would like to read the short stories as I get to them in the progress of things. And, you know, that's what I'm going to do. But anyway, so I did not read that. I did not count that. I did get through about half of it, but I don't know what happened. And I think I can start over without really, you know, worrying about spoilers or anything like that. The nonfiction book that I read, the Christian nonfiction book, is Let the Older Women Teach by Midge Weiss. This was really, really good. Now, I got a copy of this book free. I actually got 24 copies of this book free. 2 cases, because Midge apparently was a local woman a couple of towns over, but she passed away, and whoever was helping to clean out her house had a car full of cases of her book. This book that was apparently self-published. It is for sale on Amazon, as I understand. I thought it was excellent. I finally got around to reading it, and it took me a couple of months because it's a chunker. It's a little over 600 pages. But because I have 2 boxes of them, to give them to the ladies from our women's group at church, but I didn't want to hand them out without having read it first. So now that I've read it, I can tell them a little bit about it. I can tell them the things I liked about it and didn't like about it, things like that, and just feel much better about handing these out. I am probably going to do like a program or a devotional program in an upcoming women's meeting. We have them once a month, and so at whatever point that I do that, I will also give these as a gift. But I'm going to keep this copy. I have even marked a couple of places in it that I would like to refer back to, and I thought it was excellent. And it's too bad that she has passed away, because now that I know she was someone who lived in my county, I would love to have a chat with her. You know, I would really enjoy just, you know, asking her some questions about some things, and just having a heart-to-heart talk with her. But this is so personably written that you really do feel like you are having a chat with her. And her prayers in the book are like she's praying for you, the reader, because she is. And she even says that at one point, that, you know, even though she won't be able to meet all the readers, she is praying this prayer for us. And I just think that's so touching. And so, I don't know, getting a little teared up, because I really was touched by the book, and I thought it was excellent. The book is basically her testimony about her married life, and she was married, I think, for 40 years, maybe 40 years plus, and there were some rocky times, and she also lost a child. She had, I think, 3 sons and 1 daughter, and her daughter was killed at a very young age in a car accident, and she talks about, you know, working through all of that. So it was just a very, very good book. I mentioned that I read one book that was romantic suspense. This is book 2 in the Kavanaugh Justice series by Marie Ferrarella. I read this on ebook on my phone, and very good. I enjoyed it a lot. It's about a woman who was kind of a whistleblower. She worked for a corporation. She did their books and realized that the books were not adding up like they should, and realized that her boss was mishandling funds and things like that, trying to cover things up from the shareholders. So because she, you know, first went to him thinking that, oh, it was a mistake, and then realized it wasn't, then she basically turned him in, and then she had to go into hiding. And so she is hiding out at the home of the Kavanaughs, one of which just happens to have been her former boyfriend, lover, whatever, and she has a child that is his child that she never told him about. So that's how that goes. Then the other book that I read, that's not really a mystery. It does have a mysterious element, but it has 9 in the title. When I was doing a search for March Mystery Madness, and I ran across this, I thought, oh, I would like to read this. And it is 9 Perfect Strangers by Leon Moriarty. And I listened to this on Libby, and I liked it about as much as I liked that other one by her about apples falling. You know, some of the characters are likable enough, and some are just not likable. But it was okay. It was enough to keep me engaged and, you know, keep me reading. I didn't dread picking it up, but, you know, I didn't love it. So it was okay. It was about these 9 strangers. Well, actually 3 of them were a family, so they were not strangers to each other, but they all go to this health resort, and the owner, or the director / owner, uses some rather questionable tactics to help them through their therapy. And when they discover this, they are a little unhappy about it. But anyway, it just kind of goes through each of their situations. And I think maybe there is a TV series or a movie that has been made out of it, because on Libby, the audiobook cover has actors that I recognize. So I might be interested to watch it. I don't know. I don't even know what it's on. Hulu, maybe. I think we have Hulu. But the book was pretty good. I did enjoy it well enough to get through it. I liked it better than Heaven and Earth Grocery Store, for sure. So, anyway, that's not a glowing recommendation, but I didn't hate it. There are a couple of other books by this author that I have enjoyed more, though. Okay, so some of these books that I read for March Mystery Madness, I've already talked about in my week 1 wrap-up, which was the only wrap-up that I did. And then I also did a video just a few days ago about the Terry Blackstock New Point 911 series. So I'll, in case you didn't see that video, I will show you these books. It's a 5-book series about the first responders in the town of New Point. And I read this, of course, for the first responder prompt for March Mystery Madness. The first book is Private Justice. And then book 2 is Shadow of Doubt. Book 3, I hope I have these in order because I can't read the fine print. Line of Duty. Book 4, Trial by Fire, and book 5, Word of Honor. If you didn't see that video and you would like to know more about this series, then it's the video I did just a few days ago called Christian Fiction Series Review for March Mystery Madness. So be sure to check that out. Then I also listened to my 2 Jen McKinley books for the Jen McKinley Triple Top Treat read-along that we've been doing now since the beginning of 2023. For the month of March, we read One for the Books, which is one of the Library Lovers mysteries, and For Better or Worse, which is one of the Cupcake Bakery mysteries. Enjoyed both of those. Then, right off the bat, I listened to 2 Mrs. Jeffries books. I don't have physical copies of these, but I enjoyed them a lot. I listened to book 8, which was the next one in order, and because I listened to that, I thought, well, I may as well go ahead and listen to book 9 because we're doing all the 9s this month. So those were the 2 books that I listened to right at the beginning of the month. Then I moved on to Cat on the Cover, and I listened to 2 of the books in the Bookmobile Cat Mysteries, and I've already forgotten which is which. I think this is number 3, which is Pouncing on Murder, and then I believe this one's number 4, Borrowed Crime. I may have them out of order. I'm sorry. So I kind of thought maybe I would go ahead and listen to book 5, which I own, but I didn't get it done. I might listen to that on the trip. I don't know. We shall see. Anyway, these were both very enjoyable. Now, it occurs to me that I have heard a couple of people in the Killing Time with Cozies group say that they don't like those on audio because they don't like the vocalization of the cat, Eddie. I love him. To me, that's one of the endearing qualities of the book, but it's he might be an acquired taste, and the little meh that he makes might get on people's nerves. I get it, but I personally think that Eddie is adorable, and I love him. So that doesn't bother me at all. Then right at the end of the month, the last day of the month, in fact, I listened to a book with 9 on the cover. This is book 1 in the 39 Clues Cahill Files by Clifford Riley. This is called Operation Trinity. This is the only one that's on audio that I've been able to find. I had listened to it previously, but I really would like to move on and read the rest of this spin-off series, and I have a bind-up of books 2, 3, and 4 that I am going to take on my trip. So I just wanted to listen to this again and just kind of remember, you know, what was happening. And this is kind of a prequel to the original series. It starts out way back when Grace Cahill is like 20, and then it moves forward, but it's still like before what happened in the original 39 Clues series. So anyway, very enjoyable, and I'm looking forward to reading more of those. I also did a read-along, which I can't remember now if I went back and commented about the last few chapters, but I did have... I had 3 people that said they were going to read it with me. I haven't heard from one of them yet. One of them said they tried and just couldn't get past the beginning. There was marital cheating and things like that. And then one person persevered to the end. And I need to go back now that I have read the last section and see what their thoughts were. I enjoyed the book overall, but I thought the ending was not as satisfying as it could be. But I'm not really sure how you could have made it better. I mean, the people in this book, this title is no lie. Everyone in this book was lying about something. Oh my goodness. So yeah, but it was compelling. It was a quick read. The chapters were super short, and I read most of the book in the last couple of days of the month. So I started it early on and was reading other things and kind of just read a little bit along. But then when it was getting close to the end of the month, I realized, oh, this is a library book. I got to get a move on. So I hurried up and finished the Nancy Drew book that I was also reading, as a read-along, and this one. So I realized, late in the month that I needed to finish the library books, and that the books that I needed to read in print that I owned, I could take with me on the trip and read those at my leisure. So that is why I did not finish my Dress to the Nines book, which is one of the soap opera mysteries by Eileen Davidson. And I did not finish my book for Janelle. In fact, I barely started it. It's called Full Dark House by Christopher Fowler. So those books I'm taking with me on the trip. This one is also my book club book for April, for my mystery book club, but I will not be there to participate in the discussion. So I do need to get this back in case anyone else needs to read it and hasn't been able to get a copy. I did have one other book club book. That was for my mystery book club for March. And our staff person who is our book club leader for our regular book club and also helps out with the mystery book club and facilitates when I'm not there. She is of Irish descent, and she always likes to do an Irish themed book or a book set in Ireland or an Irish author in March. So that's what this one was. This is Northern Spy by Flynn Barry. Now, this had to do, it was historical. It had to do with Irish politics, which I'm not well versed in. I did learn some things. I didn't enjoy it as much as I would have probably if I knew something more about Irish politics, but it was still somewhat compelling for me, and I didn't have any trouble getting through it. I did listen to it on audio. If I had not been able to get it on audio, though, I probably would have had a harder time getting through it. And then one more book, I believe, is 9th in a series. When I looked up this series while I was planning my March Mystery Madness TBR and realized that I was on book 9 of the series, I knew that this would be my choice for that prompt. It also has a somewhat of a cat on the cover. Well, it also has the word cat on the cover, so it would kind of meet 2 different prompts. But this is book 9 in the Amelia Peabody series by Elizabeth Peters. I have lost some interest in the series, though. I think I enjoyed the earlier books more. I do enjoy Amelia, but as her son Ramses has gotten older, I don't find him as enjoyable to read about as I did when he was a precocious child. Those I thought were adorable. But anyway, it wasn't bad. I just kept getting the characters confused. There were a lot of characters, and I just wasn't as interested in it as some of the earlier books. And for that reason, I don't know that I will, continue working my way through the series. I have read book 14. I had to skip over a bunch and read that for book club a couple of years ago. So I might go ahead and read the ones in between. But I did just talk to someone at the bookstore where I work not too long ago who was purchasing some of these from the store. And she was saying that she had picked one up that was very late in the series and loved it. And now wants to go back and read some of the earlier books. So that's encouraging. And I may just keep working my way through it, but I doubt that I will binge them anytime soon. So I think that's everything for March Mystery Madness and for the month of March. I had a fantastic month. I have not gotten to watch nearly the amount of March Mystery Madness videos and wrap-ups and all of that people have been doing. Even the TBR videos. I have just been so consumed with life and things that I needed to get done before this trip. And my apologies go out to all of you. I've been rather absent on all of our social media platforms. The only thing I did manage to do was make some comments and threads for my own read-along, which was in our Mystery Madness Goodreads group. So if you would still like to read this and you want to contribute to the comments, those are going to stay there. I am not going to remove those. And if you would like to make some comments, please feel free to do so. But my apologies to all of you for being rather absent on all of our social media, March Mystery Madness things. Thank you to all of you who were very present, and those of you who are, you know, the facilitators of those things, and the people who ran reading sprints, and just all of the co-hosts in general. Thank you so much for all that you did to make March Mystery Madness an amazing event. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it so much. So that being said, well, and I also need to say thank you to all of my subscribers, because I hit 3,000 during the last couple of weeks. So that is also an amazing milestone. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Anyway, I need to get on the road. I need to get this edited and uploaded and get on the road. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.